Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is Economics with Patience, and this is lesson 2. Economics with Patience, lesson 2. And we'll be looking at the basic elements of economics. In our previous class, where we talked about the definition of economics, and we looked at all the various theorists who have defined the subject economics. We actually looked at the first theorist who defined economics in the person of Adam Smith, who is also called the father of economics. Then we looked at the definition by Alfred Marshall, J.B. Say, and several others. Then we also considered the most acceptable and the most celebrated definitions of economics by Robinson. Then we look at the shortcomings, some of the demerits, or rather the shortcomings of this definition by Robinson, despite the widely acceptance of this definition. But there were some lapses in this definition, or rather some factors that other professionals debated on this definition, because he brought the definition to limelight where he called it a social science subject that study human behavior as in relationship between ends and means, which has alternative use. So calling it a social science subject and bringing about the fact that it's about human behavior and not animals. So it now border on comparing economics with subjects like philosophy, psychology, anthropology, medicine, and the rest of them. So several authors or theorists debate on these issues, that more needs to be done when it comes to economics, since human as is in the center and the world is going global. It is now more than production, exchange, and distribution, but rather we are looking at inflation, stagflation, and a lot. So therefore, and all the theorists who have talked about economics also talks about economics based on the basic element of economics. So what are these basic elements? I told you in my previous video, we have want, we have need, we have scale of preference, we have opportunity cost, and how these concepts are used in economics might be different from how they are used when it comes to English. In simple English, I don't know, sometimes the way they are used might be different from what an economist implies when they say opportunity cost. Because for an economist, all of these definitions are different. And if you're an economics student, you need to understand this definition from the economist perspective, and also get yourself textbook. There's this dictionary specifically for economists to break down every kind of economics jargons and the things we use. All these our terminologies, they are all explained in the dictionary. So now I'll be explaining what these concepts are. But then, have you liked my channel? Have you subscribed? Encourage me to bring in more topics. And also, if there is any topic that you want me to treat specifically for you, I would want to encourage a student out there. Drop that comment, or probably you are a parent and there is a subject or an area that is kind of disturbing to your child and you need somebody to help to teach that child. So you can actually put in that comment on my video, and I will review and work on it, and I will definitely send out an information on how to help out with this very subject. Like all my page and follow us, promote us, encourage us for brand influencing, product texting, and anything like employment, teaching, consulting, management consulting, human resources. Kindly send us an email. We are here to take all of this, and we are very capable, and we have all the resources to take care of all your need. So this series is being taken from this text, and the text is the principles and method of economics. We have the first edition, the second edition, and the third edition will be out in 2027. Be ready. For those scholars who have used this and they are out of high school, they are out of college, congratulations to you. This book did not disappoint you. And for those of you who still love to get this book right now, you can send me message on my Yahoo, send me message on my email. I can get this book across to you. And for those teachers in Nigeria and across Ghana and everywhere, even in the United States, you want to have a glance look at this book and you also want to use it to teach your students. And those lecturers in the university that are taking ECHO 201, ECHO 101, that is the principles of economics, you need this book. It's a material that you are supposed to be getting to also support your student. And every student in high institution studying economics, studying business admin, studying marketing. What else are you studying? Everybody, I think some part of engineering and all of those things, you need this book. Look at the front of this page. Look at market analysis. Are you doing your MBA? So I'm doing my master in MBA. You need this book because what you call management economics is what we call microeconomics. And mind you, those people that still teach you, they are economics lecturer. You need this book. You can look at it. If you are a business management student or you have your MBA, the front of this book is saying something that you should be able to understand. If you are someone that understands market analysis and market trend, you should know what this thing is talking about when you are forecasting and you are also taking data to deliberate in a strategic meeting and tell your manager the reason why they should not go for this product or why they should go for this product, the reason why this market is feasible, why this market is not feasible. Everything is what is at the front of this page of this book. So it is not just about for high school. Those of you in the offices, if you really know you are a business manager, you're a market analyst, whatever title they give to you, this simple chart here has summarized some of the states and condition of so many organizations across the globe. So let's go for the topic today. Boom. Next. So I did not show you some of the physical copy of this book. Here is the book. If you need it, this is the first edition. We have a second edition here. So for those of you that need this book, look at this book, look at it, look at everything. So if you need this book, send me a message. You get it. So the basic elements of economics, human wants. What is human wants? Human and want. Okay. Every human being is making effort to acquire as much as he or she can get when it comes to need, want, and all of that based on desire, which is their want. Say, or our own numerous desire, also called want. So the human desires are equally called the human want. But when it comes to resources, what is resources? Resources, these are also called the means. These resources are those things we can use to get our want. You know, resources most times might not be money. It could be information. Yes. If you go to the Western world and you see somebody telling you, oh, patience, I could give you some resources. It's not mandatory the person is going to be giving you money. The person is going to be giving you information that will enable you to get those your want. Is a means to get your want. So the resources are the means. So it must not be monetary. Because I did a video one time and I said, oh, if you have a special need child, I can give you some resources in Africa. And some women came into my inbox because they thought I was going to be giving them physical cash. And I said, what is your story? These are resources. So resources are means to get your wants. It is not necessary. It must be financial. It must be cash, but they are means to. So whatever means to acquire or achieve your wants, they are resources. So wants, they are those things we human desires to simply have. A single individual may want to have a nice telephone, a comfortable residential accommodation, a plot of land, and so many other things. Human wants are so numerous and complex that if given opportunity to mention and enlist them, time will fail us. As a result of the numerosity of human wants, professionals in this field of study have agreed that human wants is better described as unlimited, or they are limitless. This simply implies that human wants are so numerous that it cannot be satisfied. It is not possible to get all of them. These wants are also called ends. So in economics, when we talk about wants, is the same thing as ends. So if you're writing your JAM, you're writing your WAEC, you're taking your GED, those ones in America and all of those things, when you talk about wants, you see ends. Wants and ends, they are the same. So wants, ends. So if you are given an opportunity to list all your wants, you want to have everything in the world. So human wants are limitless. They are satisfiable, yeah, and they are unlimited or limitless. So scarce. What is scarcity in economics? This implies that resources are not available in the proportion required. So resources are scarce. Look at every human being across the globe now contending for minimal resources. In other words, the individual has limited resources, both humans and materials, and so he or she cannot get all that they want. So you can't have everything because resources are limited. They are scarce resources. So what do we do? Human wants are limitless, but resources are limited. So how do humans survive? That is why we have what we call scale of preference and opportunity cost. We'll get there. So economic problem. What's economic problem? These are basic elements of economics. This is what we are just discussing. The basic element, because as we progress in those teaching of economics, I'll be giving the series lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4. Everything. Remember, all the definitions by all these theorists, Adam Smith, all comes from these basic elements of economics. And there is one other areas we will look much into too, probably in lesson 8. It's called central economic problem of the society. So right now, economic problem. This is the problem of trying to satisfy unlimited wants using the scarce means or resources available to us. This is also called the central economic problem of the society. Woo! I just said that. I never even thought. So, the central economic problem of society has to do with you trying to use the scarce resources to satisfy this limitless want. How do we go about it? Here, the scale of preference will fall into this, and opportunity for God, you need for God's help. So, human need. What is human need? I think the human need are primary need, essential need. So these are essential wants of humans. It is very paramount to them. Food is an essential need. It is not a want. It is not a desire, you know, but it is a need. You need it to survive. Water is a need. You need to drink to at least to be hydrated and to live. So they are not luxury, they are just basic necessity of life, you know. Very paramount to them, and they cannot do without them. For instance, a man that is thirsty and hungry, water and food is his need, and not clothes. He may desire to buy or wear new clothes later on, but this is want. The desire to get a cloth is his want, but the desire to eat and to quench those hunger and taste is a need. So the need to persist your want, because the need is essential while the want is desire. Um, okay, this is the problem satisfying our unlimited wants using the scarce means. The scarce means resources. Human need, these are essential elements, what the humans what they want, and we just justify it that human needs are different from human wants. The human needs, they are essential, while the human wants, they are desires. So choice, this is used to describe any act of selecting from a range of alternatives. The issues of choice is used in economics as a result of the numerosity of human wants, and the resources to satisfy them are not available or are not sufficient. So, because human wants are limitless and resources are scarce or limited, therefore there is a need for choice. Because sometimes you need to make choice out of your limitless desired. Think of the family man or a married man who is underemployed and he is faced with the problem of spending his small income of 10,000 naira or $1,000 bi-weekly, which is his resources or means to get his want, is not adequate to satisfy his numerous wants. What this slide is simply saying is that, for instance, you are underemployed, you know, and you are an head of an household or whatever, even if it's partnership, and bi-weekly you are earning like $500. Probably you earn like $15 per hour or $10 per hour. And you need to make choice among the range of wants that you need to fulfill that month. You need to pay for gas, you need to pay for light, for electricity, you need to pay for rent. Now, which is more paramount among all of these things? Which one can you forgo? And you also need new shoes. So that is what choice is. You need to make choice among this range. For those in Africa, for instance, like those Ghana cedis, let me use the Ghana cedi. Now, I've just used the US dollar. You earn a few cedis and you need to pay for your rent. You need to go to the market and buy food stuff. You need to buy new clothes. Which will you go for? God, you have to make choice. To those in Nigeria, the same thing, few nairas. You need to make choice. So he is left with one option, and that means to select from his numerous list the most important item is the resources of 10,000 naira, $1,000 bi-weekly would be able to buy or purchase, or what that pounds can buy, or what the hero or the yen is able to purchase. So here, a scale of preference will come in. You know, I've been saying it. A scale of preference is a list that shows the various wants of an individual or group of individual or institutions in order of preference. Yeah. A scale of preference is a scale, is a list. It's like a table. You know, when we talk about the scale of preference, we are talking about a table. Is a graphical table. Let's make an illustration. You see this. The scale of preference is like this. Let me see if you can see my right up here. The scale of preference will be like this, like the table. On this table, you'll be having like your serial number. Let me just say your X. And on this table, serial number could also be frequency. Then you'll be having the items. You have your items like that. Then when you have your items, you can write them one. This is the serial number, which is also sometimes it's also called the frequency. So it could be the frequency 1. You can write, I want a car. So you have to, I want a dog, you know, you write dog like that. So now the scale of preference is going to be showing you how you're going to arrange this your limitless want in it in order of preference. So the ones that come first will be there. The one that comes second will go. The one that comes third, you group them. So, and if you look at the way from my definition, I did not just say for even an organization, because sometimes an organization might be confronted with the decision to make. Now, this goes to those in strategic departments, because sometimes some of our people keep saying, oh, this subject, are they realistic in terms of, employment? They are. It's because you don't have a proper in-depth of all of these subjects. So as an organization, these things are confronting you, and a marketing manager, for instance, say, okay, we need, or a brand and communication manager, we need to advertise on the billboard, we need to do email advertising, we need to do B2, B1 advertising, business to business, customer to customer, or client to client, C2 advertising. But then which one comes first? Which one comes second? And what is the price? On this angle, you start having price. You put P, which signifies price. You put the price like that. The frequency, you start writing them, you put the price. Then you are able to rank this and know that, okay, what is the budget of the company? Which one should we do first? Because do not forget, we have already established that the resources is very limited, but wants and desire are limitless. So we put it aside. When we create the scale of preferences, we are able to rank and say, okay, this comes first, this comes second, this comes third. Then how do we rank them? Which we go first and which do we leave and later we'll come back? Remember the resources that you're earning, the underemployed salary earner who is earning bi-weekly less than $1,000, or the graduate in Nigeria who is earning less than $50 and is faced with numerous expenses. What do? Scale of preference. The organization, the company who needs to go into some kind of, you have a budget. Now you want to go for marketing strategy, you need to do some certain things. What do? Scale of preference. You kind of rank them. Institution. So this is not just for an individual, it is for businesses, it is for household. Remember that economies cut across everything globally. We are living in an economy. So therefore, it could be, this scale of preference could be applied in the microeconomics and in the macroeconomics. So now, arrange in their order of importance, just like I've explained, with the most pressing ones coming up at the top of the list and the least important ones occupying the bottom part of it. It is usually drawn up to assist the individual, corporations, group in making choice. Opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? In economics, opportunity cost definition is different from opportunity cost definition in accounting. So that is why you need the economics dictionary in order to solve the economics terminologies. So opportunity cost, this is also called the real cost or the foregone cost. The opportunity cost is a measure of the highest value alternative given up, we call it alternative forgone, in order to implement a decision such as to satisfy human want. Okay, on our scale of preference, now we have a list. We pick up the list. So this is our scale of preference. Let me make it dark. This is our scale of preference. We have the frequency on the scale of preference. Then we have when we have the frequency, we have the item names, items. Then when we have the items, we have their price here. Price of the item. So now we have one, because sometimes you might not even use the frequency depending, because frequency is how often does it occur. So you might use X. X can equally be number, or sometimes you might just use the small n. So now for the item, we have rent, which is important to us. And your rent for 2-bedroom, you are paying $1,200, $1,200 in a month. So for 2, we have electricity. So you pay $90 to Exert Energy. So for 3, we have gas. This is winter. You don't want to be cold. So you're going to be paying $150 to Central Point. $150 to Central Point, so that you don't get sick. So I will translate this in Nigerian language also. Now you have and the income you are having right now, let's assume assumed income. I'm going to put it here. Assumed income. I hope I'm able to write properly with this. I'm learning how to use it. Assumed income. Note, why is income in economics is equals to, let's assume you make $1,700 in terms of dollar. Let me see. So $1,750. So this is $1,750, and now you pay $150 for gas. So number 4, you have paid for gas. Food, of course, you need to eat. It's essential. That's basic human need. Let's say 200 for, let's say 180 for food. So now 180 for food. So look at it. 1290, 12 to 150, you're already having 0, 5, 1350. You already having 1350. So when you add 180 to 1350, you will see that you have already spent close to 170 already. But you still have other needs. And those other needs, let's assume the need 5 will be where is this arrow? Okay, you are having need 5. Let's put it, you need what will you need? Like shoes. Because there's something I want to establish here. And a pair of shoe, a good shoe should be like let's say it's an assumption you are having to buy the shoe for like $500. Because you have used the scale of preference, and you know that you have to go for the essential need, you have to go for what you need first, and you put them according to the order of preference. So you'll be going for this, you are going for this, you are going for this, you are going for this, and you are going to be foregoing this. This is foregone. We call it foregone. You might need to attend to it some other day. This one that you are foregone, this one you forgot, the shoe that you are going to be living is what we call the opportunity cost. Is the opportunity cost, is the real cost, is the real value that you have to lose in order to gain other things. It's important, but you need to pick the essential need. So $500 is the opportunity cost. So let me interpret this with Naira. You are earning 1,700 Naira a month, and you need to pay rent of 1,200. You need to pay electricity, NEPA, $90. You need to pay for water, $150, 150 Naira. You need to pay NEPA or power holding, 90 Naira. Now you need to buy food in your local market, either my 12 or ShopRite for 180 Naira. Now you also need shoe to go out, so that at least you go to work, you need good shoe so that you look neat to go to office. 500 Naira shoe. 500 Naira shoe is not too expensive, but now because the salary you work is too small, it cannot accommodate everything, and you need to survive. So the basic essential element, you put the basic one. So by the time you are putting the basic one, which is this, you are able to take all of this, all this basic. So the alternative for gone, which is the 500 that you did not use, is what we call the real cost, which we call the opportunity cost. That's your, is that three words: alternative for gone, real cost, the opportunity cost. That is what opportunity cost is. The item, the cost you have to forgo in order to get the other item is the opportunity cost. I hope I'm very clear with my explanation. I try as much to explain them the best way I could. So we have the concept of opportunity cost. It's relevant to the various economic units, the society, the also the firm and the government. I explained this earlier on. The opportunity cost is not just for family, like I use the individual to explain. It is for everyone. So economic students out there, you can see you are learning a practical something. You could even give business advice to companies if you understand this thing. But the problem is, while we are in school or at those early stage, sometimes you don't really understand these things properly because you are not in the workforce yet. But as I worked in company, became strategic head of businesses and move around, I began to understand that all these things that we are being taught, they are practical. And that is another advantage to someone like me. Apart from teaching or being a teacher, when you have a teacher who have also experienced the real world, in terms of a teacher who have worked in companies, a teacher who have contributed, you will be able to, the teacher will not be teaching you theories, but will teach you the application because the teachers have seen it. But a lecturer who has never applied, they are more like a researchers. They read theories and book. They don't know. Those are the ones that will tell you that they are still looking for the DS and the DY. But those of us who have sat down and do these things, put them into real activities, we know where DY and DX is. So the concept of opportunity cost is relevant in organization, in household, in firms, and in government. It's something that is being used in every parastatal. The household, it enables the individual to decide which of our various wants should be satisfied and which one should be forgone, or for tasted, or forgone, or alternative forgone. For instance, an individual who pay his money, resources to obtain a car instead of a plot of land has incurred some cost. And the real cost or the opportunity cost is the car, because he paid for the land instead of the car. So the car is the alternative for gun. And to the firm, it helps them in making rational decision, deciding which project to go for, or which project will be more viable to them. So when it comes to market analysis, this can equally help organizations to decide which of the project to go for, which products will benefit them, what is the consequences, and which one should they leave for now and which one should they go with. So to the government, it also helps them to make rational decision when it comes to distribution of incomes. The government also look at it. Which project should we do? What do we do? Do we need to help low income people? Do we need to put more resources in Minnesota than Michigan? Are the people, the government have to forgo something to do something. So it's quite helpful to everyone, both the government and the private individuals, the entrepreneur, even the consultant. Opportunity cost is something that everyone practice and should practice as a rational being. Do not forget, economists are rational individuals. They think, they calculate, they kind of analyze before they take decision. And that is why I always say, when we meet our fellow economists, we call them hello rational individuals. So thank you for joining me today. Our coming lesson will be lesson 3, and that will be components or branches of economics. Watch out for my next video regarding the components and branches of economics. Do not forget to subscribe and to like my channels, promote, encourage, and encourage us to do more. It takes a whole lot to do this, and it takes a effortless thing trying to help out people to solve mystery and things that they do not understand with a simple video. Thank you. Click like and expect the next topic, which is the components or branches of economics. And if there's any topic you want me to treat, kindly drop it in the comment section. Thank you so much. Bye.